and welcome to the International Daily Roundup with People's Dispatch, where we bring you some of the top stories of the day. Beginning with our first story, at least 24 activists and lawyers in India have been targeted by the Pegasus spyware created by the NSO Group, which is an Israeli company. They are among the nearly 1,400 people who have been targeted around the world by this software, including at least 100 civil society members. WhatsApp, which is owned by Facebook, has filed a lawsuit in a federal court in the US alleging that the NSO Group of Israel exploited a vulnerability in their video calling feature to target people, including activists and journalists. The lawsuit uses the research done by the Citizen Lab, which is a research group affiliated to the University of Toronto. The Citizen Lab had published a detailed report in November last year which had described how Pegasus harvests the victims' data and performs surveillance on them. Following the news about the lawsuit, several Indian citizens, mostly activists and lawyers attached to the Bhima Koregaon case, have come forward saying that they were targeted. The Bhima Koregaon case involves the prosecution of a number of activists and lawyers by the Indian government on the claim that they are Maoists. Among those targeted using Pegasus are Nihal Singh Rathore, a Nagpur-based human rights lawyer, who was contacted by the Citizen Lab earlier this month and warned about specific digital risks he faced. WhatsApp has alerted at least 24 journalists, academics, lawyers and activists in India about them being targeted by the Pegasus spyware. Apart from Nihal Singh Rathore, Chhattisgarh-based activists Bela Bhatia and Digri Prasad Chauhan too have confirmed that they were targeted by the spyware. The NSO Group has confirmed that Pegasus spyware has been only sold to government agencies, including the agencies in India. Prashant spoke to NewsClick's Prabir Purkayastha about how the software works. Take a look.
Prabir, so could you first start by telling us what exactly is Pegasus and how does it work and how can it be used to target people, especially on WhatsApp since it's a safe software?
Well, a lot of people have used WhatsApp in the belief that it is end-to-end encrypted and therefore it is safe. Now we know that 24 people at least in India were targeted, and who targeted them is a question we need to return to. And the total number targeted in the world is about 1,400 or so, as you have said. And one of them is supposed to be Khashoggi, who was targeted obviously by Saudi Arabia, who had bought the software from Israel.
Right.
Now, of course, in this case also, Israel has sold the software to Indian government because they claim they sell it only to government agencies, because the targets that have been revealed to have been considered, who have been really targeted, are people who obviously were targeted by the government of India. They're involved in the Bhima Koregaon case, charging Maoists for trying to infiltrate and create various things, activist Bela Bhatia in Chhattisgarh. So if we look at the profile of these people, these are also exactly the people who are sought to be targeted in different ways by the government, particularly before the elections. So this is clearly something we need to now seriously consider, that the governments along with agencies of the Israeli government are selling software which is really weaponized software. You asked what is Pegasus, what does it do? Now Pegasus is a weaponized software in the sense it is used to penetrate the devices of the people. So it is not something which penetrates WhatsApp. That is not what happens. What it does is, if you actually use the phone to which it has either given missed calls, or it has invited you to some group call, or you have got a video message which you have tried to open, all of these apparently plant malware in your cell phone, in your smartphone, and that in turn compromises the device itself. Once it does that, then it has the ability to send everything you have on that phone to an external node, which is then run by the company or the institution or the agency which has bought this software from the Israeli company. Now this is how the devices get compromised. So it's not that WhatsApp encryption is broken, but since anyway your device knows what you have written, what your contacts are, none of this are actually encrypted on your phone. Therefore what it means is that entire information you have in the phone can be taken out, and this is exactly what happens.
Going to our second story, Israeli security forces stormed the house of Khalida Jarrar and arrested her. Khalida is a well-known Palestinian parliamentarian, human rights and women's rights activist. This happened on the outskirts of Ramallah on Thursday morning. The parliamentarian's daughter, Yafa Jarrar, said that around 70 soldiers in 12 Israeli military vehicles raided the family's home at around 3 a.m. while her mother and sister were asleep. Jarrar has been taken to an unknown location on undisclosed charges. 57-year-old Khalida Jarrar is a prominent member of the leftist Palestinian political party, the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, or PFLP. She is also a member of the Palestinian Legislative Council. She has been elected as one of the 3 deputies from her party. She is also a forceful advocate for the rights of Palestinian women and prisoners and has served as the former vice chair and executive director of the Adamir Prisoner Support and Human Rights Association. She has faced persecution by the Israeli security services several times in the past, having been arrested in 2015 and 2017. She was last arrested on July 2, 2017 under charges of being a senior member of the PFLP, which is designated as a terrorist organization by Israel, the United States and the European Union. Khalida was placed under administrative detention in the Damon prison without trial for 6 months. Her detention was renewed 3 more times, once for 6 months and twice for 4 months each, before she was finally released on 28 February this year after 20 months in administrative detention. Finally, moving on to Peru, on October 30th, the Peruvian Mining Council announced its final ruling in the case of the Tia Maria copper mining project located in the Tambo Valley. The Mining Council declared that the appeals against the project are unfounded and also removed the temporary suspension of the license given to the Mexican mining company Southern Copper Corporation. The inhabitants, farmers, environmentalists, provincial and regional authorities of the area have been resisting the construction of the Tia Maria mining project for almost a decade, raising concerns about the serious impacts that the mining operations will have on the environment and agriculture. Following the Mining Council's verdict, massive protests broke out in the valley. Several small demonstrations were held in the districts of Coca Chacra, Deen Valdivia and Punta de Bombon. Dozens of people demonstrated in the center of the cities with green flags that said "Agro yes, mining no." Elmer Cacares Lica, the governor of the region, called the granted license illegal and said that it only served transnational interests. And this is all we have in today's episode of the International Daily Roundup. For more such stories and videos, visit our website peoplesdispatch.org, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching.
De pie cantar que vamos a triunfar, avanza ya.